Hi everyone, Aiden here at the etrailer. Today we're taking a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination e-bike on our 2015 Chevrolet Colorado. Now this is going to be an e-bike rack that has a 70-pound weight capacity per bike, making it good for some of our heavier e-bikes. With that, it is going to hold the bike in these trays and by our frame up here. Frame contact does mean we want to avoid carbon frame bikes, so it does eliminate that. But with the way the clamps rotate 360 degrees and are able to move around, it should be good for alternative frame bikes still. With that, there's also going to be 3 wheel straps at the bottom, 2 at the front tire and 1 at the back, and altogether they work together to create a really firm hold on the bike. There's really no movement of the bike within the bike rack, so that's great to see. Now where this bike rack really stands out is the overall ease of use and functionality of it. The tilting feature, a lot of platform racks have this, where you can tilt it away from the vehicle to gain access to the back, in our case the tailgate. And this one does have full clearance, but the way it does it is really great. We've got a hand knob at the bottom that I just loosened and pushed out of the way, and now with ease we can just push the whole rack away, and it tilts down almost a full 90 degrees here. Because of where that pivot point is, it doesn't feel super heavy when you're doing it, so it's easy to do on your own, and you can do it from a really convenient place. I will say that clearance here is tight. It does clear, we're not making contact with the bike rack, and down below it's very close, but we still at least have ½ an inch of clearance. So it does fully open, and we have that ability to get into our bed or get something out of it. Just keep in mind that, again, it's very close. I'll go ahead and close this up. And then I usually like to push it back into place from here, just because I find it a little easier to do. Either way you go, though, it's going to be easy. And then we can re-secure that hand knob to make sure that this is locked in, just like that. And from here, we could talk about loading and unloading the bike. That's another area where this gets to be really simple. It does have an included ramp that'll work with the bike rack. Loosen up the hand knob on the back to extend it, and we can line this oval-shaped hole up with the oval tab at the back of the bike. Now, depending on where your tire's sitting, it might be a little in the way, but you can get it on just as easily. And this is going to make loading and unloading a lot simpler. I'll undo the wheel straps first, pressing in on the gray button on the side and pulling out the strap. And then we can do the clamp up top with the included hand knob after that. Now the ramp only attaches on the back side of the bike, so when you're parking, just make sure you have clearance. You can see we've got a wall on the other side of us today, so we won't be able to wheel it all the way down, but you can at least see that the ramp is stable. It's extra wide, so comparing it to some other ramps out there, like the Yakima on-ramp, it's a lot sturdier. My one complaint about it is that it doesn't store on the bike rack like that Yakima on-ramp ramp does. So you will have to toss it in the back of your truck, whether it be the bed or the back seat. But luckily, it condenses down, and it's not too big. I'll set it to the side for right now. And I always like to replace these straps since they are extra long. I just like them to be kind of out of the way. And we can get some measurements. We'll start off with our ground clearance. You can see we've got a reversed U-shaped design here. So the lowest point's actually going to be at the edge of the bike rack, giving us about 21 inches of ground clearance, which is pretty impressive considering the shape of the bike rack. I think that should be plenty for most applications. And then our distance added to the back in this driving position is going to be sticking out 32 inches. So it doesn't actually add too much to the back of your vehicle compared to some other options out there, but you can save some space. If you have bikes unloaded and you want to leave it in the hitch, you can fold it up. Undo these straps, pop these handles open, and fold down the center mass to start. Resecure everything in place. Those straps are just safeties to make sure that those handles don't accidentally open. And then down near the hitch, we've got a pin and retaining clip that we can pop out, fold the rack upright, and reinsert that with the newly aligned holes. Right there. And you can see that does cut down some of that length added to the back. Now only sticking out about 14.5 inches. So it's going to be a lot easier this way to pull into a parking spot with the bike rack still in. It is a bit of an awkward shape, so I will say it blocks your backup camera pretty much completely, and it is going to obstruct your license plate down there a little bit. You can still see it somewhat, but just be mindful of that. Down at the bottom, we've got our integrated anti-rattle knob, just built right into the bike rack, tool-free. That's going to keep things solid in the hitch. And then our locking hitch pin. It's not a threaded hitch pin, you just feed it through. The anti-rattle knob will bind it against the hitch pin hole on your hitch and keep everything nice and secure. That lock is key-like to the hand knobs up top, so our bikes are locked to the rack and the rack is locked to the vehicle. And overall, I really like the Destination e-bike rack. If you're looking for something that's going to make loading up e-bikes and operating the bike rack with those bikes loaded really simple and easy to do on your own, this is the way to go. A lot of other racks that have the weight capacity aren't always the easiest to operate. The biggest example of that being the Yakima Stage 2. It's got the same weight capacity, but it's really hard to operate. So for me, if you're looking for ease of use, this is definitely the way to go, and it works great on your Colorado. Thanks for watching.